Hello CreateStudio 3.0 user. In this tutorial I want to show you how to work with shapes, images and videos in CreateStudio 3.0. With the term work with I mean scaling, distortion and rounding corners in 3.0. And on the canvas I have here first the 5 shapes you will find here under the plus icon here on at the top here, the rectangle, the circle, the triangle, the square and the arc feature here. And I also have here an image. This is from the studio here under the shapes. Yes, there are also images under the shapes and you will recognize them after you have drawn them on the canvas or in the timeline. You will see that they have here the name image. You also see that you can change the color so easily as with shapes. When I go here on the shape, I have here the possibility to change here the color very easily here. With the images here under in the studio under shapes, you have to go to effects and color fill. And then you can go with your desired color. Okay, let's delete this effect here. And the next thing is that the images have mostly a different color than the shapes. Let's go also back here to the blue again. The default color of shapes is this blue here, and the images mostly have a different color and not this blue here. Okay, this video I have here from the studio, also from the backgrounds, and this is a gradient image here. You see when I play it here. And the 2 shapes are also here from the studio and under shapes here. Okay, let's begin with scaling. The only 2 assets or shapes that behave like the ones in CreateStudio Pro, that are the square and the rectangle shape here under the plus sign here. So when I scale here, let's say I want to scale here from the left to the right here, it looks like this. I can also make this here with the square. Let's go from the top to the bottom here. And so you see this. All other assets in CreateStudio 3.0 behaves different. These are the only exception that work like all assets in CreateStudio Pro. You see the difference the best when I go here with this square here under the plus sign and this square here under the shapes here. Let's say I go here and will scale it here down. It behaves like this here. When I make the same here with the square here from the shapes here, it scale here down or scale here up to the center here. So you have here this difference. The same is here with triangle, with circle. When I go from left to right, it also goes from right to left here. The arc tool is the same here. And this is also for images. Let's scale it up and down here. And videos here. The thing is, you can get the same scaling behavior as in CS Pro and as the square and the rectangle here when you go with the Alt key, Alt or Option key. So when I go here to the rectangle here, when I now press the Alt key and then I go with scaling down here, up and down here. You see that it behaves like the square here under the plus sign without pressing the Alt key here. And it's the same here. You see when I go here in without Alt key, when I here go in with the Alt key, it behaves the same as for the square and the rectangle here. And this is for all of the shapes, images and videos in 3.0, and as I said, except the square and the rectangle shape here. If you want the square and rectangle shape here behave like all other assets in 3.0, you have to go with the Alt or Option key. So let's go back here to the shape here, and let's go here and scale it down and up here without the Alt key. And I go here to the square and go here with the Alt key. You see I have here the same result here. So I can also go here in, and you see it behaves exactly like all the other assets here in 3.0. And this is the same here for the rectangle shape here by pressing the Alt key. So with scaling, your best friend will be the Alt key if you have trouble to scale, or if you want to scale everything in 3.0 like in CS Pro. You have to go with the Alt or Option key, except as for the square and the rectangle from under the plus sign here. Okay, this was scaling, Alt or Option key. Then the next thing is, when I go here on the square, you see here this menu here, this little menu here above the shape here for stretching here, for centering, changing color and for distortion. You have this also here with the rectangle, you have this with the triangle, with the circle. You don't have this with the arc tool here. So there is no chance to distort it or to center it here with the arc tool. You have it also for the images. Here you couldn't change here the color so easily as with the triangle, circle, rectangle and square here. And also for the video you have the same as for images here. For shapes you have the same as for the arc tool here. You see there is no little menu here above the shape here. Let's take another shape here. You see no menu here. So what is if you want to distort a shape, or let's say the arc here? I will go here and close the arc here a little bit. I go here to 360 here. So I have now closed this. If you want to distort the arc or the shapes here out of the studio under shapes, you have there is a little trick to do this. The first is you have to group the shape, or here the arc. Let's group it here. And now you have the distortion function here and the center function here. So with the distortion you can now go and make something, let's say something like this here. Go a little bit down here. And the same is with shape here, with the shapes here from under the studio and under the shapes here. You go and group this. And then you have here the distortion. feature here. What you also could make here is for distortion, you can make here an animation. Let's say I go here with animation, distortion here, and then I can animate the distortion. Here, let's say I want something like this here. Let's go here a little up. Let's say something like this here. And now you have here the distortion animated. Okay. What you also see here for the square, for the rectangle, and for the image, and for the video, you see here these, I call them rounding handles here, to round here the corners. So when I go here, I can round the corners here on this or that, and also here for the square and for the rectangle here. You don't have this option here, let's say for the triangle, for the circle, for the arc, and for also not for the shapes here. But here is another trick. I go now here on the square, which I don't have grouped before. So here the trick is, first step to group this shape, and then to mask the shape here at the right. For me it's the right. I don't know how you have your settings here for the UI. When I now mask this, I now also get here these rounding or rounding handles here, as I call them. You see them? Now I have them. It makes no sense here for the arc or for the circle. For the triangle it could be also helpful. Let's go. First step, group. Next step, mask. And then I can go here and let's say I want to have something like this here. So in this case it makes sense. It don't make sense here for circle or arc or for this shape here, because when I go here it's grouped before. When I go here and mask this here, this makes here no sense here to go here with, because there's nothing in the corners to round. Okay. A last tip here for the rounding corners is you can also animate the rounding corners here. Let's say I'm here on a square and have here these rounding corners. Okay, first another tip here, if you want to round here specific corners, you can go with the Shift key. So I press here Shift, and then I can go with rounding the corners I want to round here. If you don't press the Shift key, okay, I am now back here to a circle. You will round here all corners here. With the Shift key you can round specific corners. What's also nice is that, let's go here to the scale. I think I go here with 21 here. So I have a nice rectangle here. This rounding the corners you can also animate with the border animation. Therefore I go here to add animation and then to border. And now I can go, let's say I want here a morphing from square to circle. So I can go here and make now a circle out of this rectangle, square here. And now I have here this animation. So I have now from square to circle. You can do other things here. Let's go back and let's say I want here, as I made it before, I go with Shift, make this here, take this, let's go in here. And now I have here a animation here from a square to something like a leaf or something like this. Okay. I think I'm through now, and I hope this will help you. Thank you and goodbye.